Harry Kane, England's captain, has sparked major controversy after reportedly speaking out in defense of Mexico while calling for stronger action against Argentina. According to his remarks, he doesn't believe teams should escape punishment when respect and fair play are ignored. Those weren't rumors or made up headlines, they were presented as his own words. But before we reveal everything Harry Kane had to say, if you enjoy football stories like this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us bring you more of the biggest football controversies and breaking news. The Bayern Munich striker has now become another high-profile footballer, raising questions about FIFA and Argentina. During a recent interview with a leading London magazine, Kane shared several bold opinions, with his biggest focus being the behavior he witnessed on and off the pitch. The conversation quickly shifted to England's World Cup semi-final against Argentina. The interviewer asked Kane what the atmosphere felt like during such a massive match. Kane answered that it was incredibly intense but also unforgettable. He explained that playing in a World Cup semi-final is something that is almost impossible to describe because the emotions are on another level. According to him, there was enormous tension throughout the stadium. He said the Argentine players brought a very aggressive mentality into the game, while most of the crowd supported Argentina, making the pressure even greater. Even with all of that, Kane believed England performed well. Although they were eliminated, he felt his side had produced the better football for large stretches of the match. The interviewer then pointed out that the game was full of arguments, confrontations, and heated moments. He asked Kane whether facing Argentina felt different from playing any other opponent, and whether England believed the referee had favored the South American side, especially since several English players had voiced complaints after the final whistle. Kane responded by saying the match was extremely difficult from the opening whistle. He claimed that Argentina appeared confident because they believed many decisions would go their way, and according to him, they tried to turn the game into a physical battle from the very beginning. He explained that several challenges, which would normally result in fouls, were simply ignored. There were pushes, elbows, small kicks off the ball, and constant verbal exchanges designed to distract England's players. Kane admitted that football is naturally competitive and physical, but in his opinion, the Argentine players crossed the line more than once, while the referee failed to step in when it mattered. The interviewer then challenged Kane's opinion. He suggested that England's defeat may have had more to do with the team's tactics than the officiating. He pointed out that after taking the lead, England chose to defend instead of continuing to attack. Despite having enough quality to control the match offensively, Kane answered respectfully, saying he fully supported the manager's decisions. He explained that people watching from home can always say what should have happened, but they aren't the ones experiencing the pressure on the pitch. According to Kane, England tried repeatedly to push forward, but every time there was contact with an Argentine player, the referee immediately stopped play and awarded a foul. He added that after Gordon scored, England struggled to build any attacking rhythm because their moves were constantly interrupted, since they felt it was becoming nearly impossible to break into Argentina's half without another whistle. The team decided to sit deeper and protect their advantage. Looking back, Kane admitted the strategy didn't work, but he also argued that nobody can know for certain whether continuing to attack would have changed the final result. The interviewer agreed that football is full of what-if moments and then asked another direct question. He wondered whether Argentina's behavior throughout the tournament bothered Kane personally and whether he believed FIFA had given the reigning champions special treatment. Kane replied that both he and several teammates had already expressed concerns about decisions that seemed to favor Argentina during the tournament. He said that if FIFA wanted to punish him simply for sharing his opinion, then he was prepared to accept whatever consequences came his way. However, he insisted that the same standards should apply to everyone. According to Kane, if players can be disciplined for speaking openly, then those who insult referees, display political messages during football matches, or disrespect opposing nations should also face consequences. He added that incidents involving countries such as Mexico, Egypt, and even England deserved the same level of attention from football's governing body. The interviewer nodded and said that was a fair point. He added that, in his opinion, FIFA has become increasingly strict about what players are allowed to say. Speaking publicly about referees, controversial decisions, or the organization's policies often leads to warnings or punishments. He argued that footballers are expected to stay silent, almost as if they aren't allowed to express real emotions. He then asked Kane whether the behavior of some Argentine players and supporters after England's elimination had affected him personally. Kane admitted that it absolutely did. He said it was impossible to ignore the way some people celebrated. Winning is one thing, he explained, but mocking opponents, involving families, and creating unnecessary confrontations is something completely different. According to him, after the match, several Argentine players celebrated directly in front of England's squad while laughing and making provocative gestures. He also mentioned the political banner referencing the Malvinas Islands, saying he prefers to stay away from political debates, but he questioned how anyone could demand respect while showing so little respect toward others. For Kane, that reflected a lack of humility rather than true sportsmanship. He continued by saying England wasn't the only nation that had experienced this kind of treatment. Kane explained that he had watched numerous videos involving Mexico and felt disappointed by what he saw. In his view, football should unite countries, instead of encouraging hostility between supporters. He believed every nation deserves to be treated with dignity, regardless of the result on the scoreboard. Curious about that comment, the interviewer asked Kane to explain what he meant regarding Mexico. He wondered whether Kane had personally experienced the atmosphere there, and whether he believed Mexican supporters behaved differently from Argentine fans. Kane responded by saying that playing at the Estadio Azteca was certainly intimidating because of the incredible passion inside the stadium. The pressure from the crowd was intense, but he described it as healthy and respectful. Even though Mexico and England were rivals during the competition, he said the Mexican people treated the team with kindness and welcomed them warmly. In contrast, he claimed the experience surrounding Argentina felt far more hostile. According to Kane, there were repeated insults from the stands, and instead of calming tensions, some players only made the situation more heated. He added that Mexico deserved more recognition because throughout the tournament, the country had welcomed visitors from around the world, including Argentine supporters. Kane said he never understood why some people continued targeting Mexico despite that hospitality. He recalled seeing reports and videos of confrontations involving Mexican fans, and said he completely disagreed with that kind of behavior. In his opinion, if FIFA truly wants to protect football's image, then those are exactly the situations where firm action should be taken. At the end of the interview, Kane was asked to leave one final message for FIFA, England's supporters, and football fans across the world. He answered confidently, saying England would return stronger than ever because he believed in the quality and character of the squad. More importantly, he urged everyone connected to football to compete with respect, humility, and fairness. He concluded by saying that rules should apply equally to every team and every player, and anyone who fails to respect the spirit of the game should face the appropriate consequences. With those remarks, the interview came to an end. Many viewers described them as some of the strongest comments made by a top international player regarding FIFA and Argentina. Throughout the conversation, Kane focused less on individual refereeing decisions and more on the importance of respect, sportsmanship, and accountability. In his opinion, England wasn't just eliminated from the tournament, they were also treated in a way that no national team should experience. Supporters of Kane's argument quickly pointed to several controversial moments from the match. One incident frequently mentioned involved Argentine players celebrating directly in front of England's squad after the final whistle, shouting and taunting their opponents. Critics also highlighted a clash involving Enzo Fernandez and English midfielder Elliot Anderson, claiming the challenge deserved a closer review from the officials. According to those who shared Kane's concerns, a number of physical challenges consistently appeared to favor Argentina, leaving England frustrated and increasingly cautious as the game went on. Many argued that the English players became more focused on avoiding injuries than forcing risky challenges because they believed similar incidents were not being punished equally. Whether that perception was correct or not, it became a major talking point after the match. Reports from outside the stadium also fueled the controversy. According to several accounts, England's arrival was met by hostile reactions from sections of the crowd. Some fans were accused of throwing objects, while others allegedly disrespected English flags before kickoff. Videos circulating online also appeared to show confrontations between groups of English and Argentine supporters during the match and after the final whistle. Those scenes led many people to question whether stronger action should be taken against individuals responsible for crowd violence. Another point raised during the debate involved politics entering football. Critics argued that FIFA has often insisted political messages have no place in the sport, yet they questioned whether that rule has always been enforced consistently. Attention was drawn to banners referencing the Falkland Islands, known in Argentina as the Malvinas, which appeared after the match. Some commentators also pointed to statements from Argentine political figures that added even more controversy to an already tense situation. Supporters of Kane's position argued that if football's governing bodies truly want to keep politics separate from the game, then every team should be held to the same standard without exceptions. They claimed consistency is essential if FIFA expects players, coaches, and supporters to respect its rules equally. The discussion didn't stop there. Another issue that gained attention involved the appointment of referees during the tournament. Some reports claimed that Argentine supporters had expressed concerns about English referee Michael Oliver officiating their matches because they feared political factors could influence his decisions. In the end, Oliver was not assigned to Argentina's games, which led critics to accuse FIFA of giving in to outside pressure. Those raising the issue argued that it was contradictory to complain about politics influencing football while simultaneously bringing political concerns into referee selections. For many supporters, Kane's comments were simply the words of a captain defending his teammates after an emotional tournament. Others also praised the positive remarks he made about Mexico, Despite England and Mexico facing each other earlier in the competition, Kane reportedly described the experience as respectful from beginning to end. He acknowledged that playing at the Estadio Azteca brought tremendous pressure because of the passionate atmosphere, but he emphasized that it remained respectful and never crossed the line into hostility. Many Mexican fans welcomed those comments, believing they reflected the hospitality their country had shown throughout the tournament. While the football rivalry remained intense on the pitch, they felt respect was always maintained off it. Supporters argued that this demonstrated a different approach to competition, one built on passion without abandoning sportsmanship. Attention also returned to scenes from England's national anthem before the semi-final, when large sections of the crowd reportedly booed throughout the ceremony. The moment quickly spread across social media, with many debating whether national anthems should always be respected regardless of sporting rivalries. Some questioned how the reaction would have been if the situation had been reversed and England supporters had behaved the same way toward Argentina. As the controversy continued online, petitions and campaigns began appearing across social media platforms. Some groups called for FIFA to investigate Argentina's conduct more closely, while others demanded stronger disciplinary action before the next World Cup. According to supporters of those campaigns, millions of signatures had already been collected from fans who wanted football authorities to examine the events surrounding the tournament more carefully. Whether those campaigns will lead to official action remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. The debate surrounding sportsmanship, respect, refereeing, and FIFA's consistency has become one of the biggest talking points in international football. Kane's reported comments only added more fuel to a discussion that shows no signs of ending anytime soon. The controversy didn't end with the interview. As discussion spread across social media, even more claims and reports began circulating about possible consequences for those involved. Some commentators suggested that ongoing investigations into events surrounding the tournament could eventually result in disciplinary action if any rules were found to have been broken. Others argued that football authorities should carefully review every allegation before reaching any conclusions. At the same time, attention shifted toward several Argentine players who had been criticized for their conduct during and after the competition. According to some reports, questions were raised about whether certain incidents could affect their reputations at club level, especially since many of them play professionally in England. Some analysts believe that any disciplinary decisions would ultimately depend on the findings of football authorities and the clubs themselves. Supporters of that viewpoint argued that representing a national team comes with responsibility, particularly when players compete in leagues outside their home country. They felt professional footballers should always remember that respect for opponents, supporters, and host nations is part of the game, regardless of emotions on the pitch. The debate also expanded beyond football itself. Some commentators claimed that part of the intense rivalry comes from national pride and the desire to prove superiority through international success. While acknowledging Argentina's achievements on the field, they argued that success should always be accompanied by humility and respect for opponents. During the discussion, comparisons were even made with Argentina's domestic league, with critics suggesting that many of the country's biggest stars choose to build their careers abroad because Europe's top competitions offer greater opportunities and higher standards. Whether fair or unfair, those comparisons became another talking point as fans from different countries continued debating the issue online. Toward the end of the video, several supporters shared their own opinions. One fan argued that Argentina should face stronger consequences because, in his view, too many controversial refereeing decisions had gone in their favor throughout the tournament. Another supporter claimed that football should reward teams that compete with fairness and humility, rather than relying on gamesmanship or intimidation. Others disagreed, saying every nation deserves the chance to defend its place on the world stage and that emotional rivalries are simply part of football. The video concluded by asking viewers for their own opinions. Do you believe Argentina should face sanctions? Or do you think the controversy has been exaggerated? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy football debates, World Cup analysis, and the biggest stories from around the game, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.